Okay, so I've been waiting for the lineup announcement with so much anticipation, and I was so happy that it was finally revealed. Some of the groups that were revealed to be participating were groups whose presence on the show I had already predicted, but as far as the other artists are concerned, I am genuinely confused as to why Mnet thought it would make any sense including them. I'm not trying to bring down any group and any artist. In fact, I enjoy every single artist in this lineup, and I'm overall excited in seeing them interacting and collaborating with one another. But anyway, let me go through each and one of them, starting off with the groups I had predicted would be in the competition, groups that actually make sense having on the show. First up is Brave Girls. I mean, the way their whole career trajectory developed is one of the most unique and inspiring stories that have occurred in K-pop. Brave Girls' success skyrocketed in the last couple of years, making them one of the most relevant, successful and talked about groups in the industry. It is undeniable that having them featured on Queendom makes a lot of sense, especially because they can make the most of the attention and fame they are receiving, and, hopefully, they will be able to gain even more from this show. They can establish themselves even more and prove they're here to stay and they're not just one-hit wonders, which they have already proven. But still, participating on Queendom will help them getting even bigger. Brave Girls are one of those groups you cannot help but talking about whenever it comes to influential K-pop artists of the last couple of years, and their presence on Queendom was already speculated a lot by everyone. So in conclusion, I'm not surprised at all, and I think participating on the show was definitely a great choice. Another group I knew for sure was gonna be on Queendom Season 2 is WJSN. Like, it makes so much sense. They are one of the biggest girl groups in Korea and in China. Their sales are high. They chart well. They're well known and respected. They just need a bit of an extra push as far as the international market is concerned. Obviously, when I say international market, I'm not including China because they're already huge there. They have the perfect level of popularity you would expect to see on Queendom, just like previous participants such as Oh My Girl, Mamamoo and AOA. Just to make an example, they are too big to ignore, but at the same time they could definitely use some more appreciation from the general public. They have so much to offer, not just catchy songs. They're literally one of the most well-rounded girl groups in K-pop, and I can't wait for people to discover just what they're capable of. They haven't always been promoted too well by Starship, and I feel like they have often been held back from showing their full potential, and the company's poor management choices hindered their potential to be even bigger and more established. I think that just like Oh My Girl, they will benefit a whole lot from this show. The last group whose appearance I had predicted is LOONA. They are the exact opposite of WJSN. Big international fanbase, not that big domestic fanbase. Among fourth-gen girl groups, they are still quite too big to ignore, and it honestly makes so much sense seeing them on the show. Like WJSN, they have been around for quite a few years, and despite the accomplishments, they're still not appreciated as much as they should be. They're one of the girl groups with the most wasted potential out there. The way they're managed doesn't allow them to showcase their talents to the fullest, and I'm particularly excited to see the members who always get nothing finally being able to shine through new stages and new challenges. I believe LOONA will be the group that will benefit the most from Queendom. In the last few years, their popularity in Korea has been growing. More and more K-pop artists have shown interest in LOONA, and also thanks to Chu's domestic popularity, it feels like Korea is finally acknowledging their existence. But still, they have a long way to go to establish themselves properly in their country, and Queendom can give them the extra push they need. LOONA is filled with underrated performers that would be regarded as some of the best in fourth gen if only the group was more popular, and I'm so glad people will be finally able to see what LOONA is really made of. Overall, I'm pretty happy about this first half of the lineup. WJSN and LOONA are two of my absolute favorite groups, and just the thought of seeing them collaborate makes me super excited. Not to mention seeing Brave Girls unleashing their full potential as well. Anyway, from this point on I'll be talking about the artists whose presence on the show makes pretty much zero sense in my opinion. First we have Vivas. I'm overall happy to see the girls thriving and being successful after what happened to G-Friend. But honestly, I don't think their presence makes a lot of sense. They have literally just debuted and they're doing so well too. So I honestly don't think they need Queendom that much. If G-Friend was still around, they wouldn't need Queendom at all. And neither do the Vivas girls now. I just think the company should have let Vivas do their own thing, carrying out their promotions and seeing how things went instead of putting them in a competition right after debut. Also, Mnet was like, yes, I'm gonna give you another fourth gen group, and gave us Vivas, who are technically a fourth gen group. But I mean, there are a lot of new faces Mnet could have included. Groups that need Queendom much more than Vivas. For example, groups like Everglow, Lightsum and Cherry Bullet. Shinbi and Doonha's popularity is already big, much bigger than most of the other contestants on Queendom. So I honestly don't think they needed Queendom, at least not now that things are going great for them. Then there's Hyorin. Seeing she was participating made me get super angry at Mnet. I thought we agreed that having soloists competing against groups wasn't a good idea. Just look at Bomb in Queendom Season 1. Hyorin is a queen and she slays no matter what. So I'm obviously excited seeing her on Queendom. But we cannot deny that she isn't as famous as she was during her Sistar days or during the days she was still signed under Starship. So mnet, what makes you think this was a good idea? I honestly don't get it. I know Hyolyn is an all-rounder and she's not gonna fall short against anyone, but we all know K-pop stans prefer groups compared to soloists, and we all know participating as a group gives you many more advantages in general. There wasn't any male soloist in Road to Kingdom or in Kingdom, so I thought mnet had learned from their mistakes of putting a soloist in the first season of Queendom, but apparently they haven't learned shit. Anyway, I'm confident that Hyolyn is gonna kick everybody's ass like the queen she is, and I cannot wait. And lastly, we have Kepler, the group whose appearance confused the shit out of everyone. They're one of my current favorite groups and I'm honestly very excited about their presence on the show. It's just that I fail to see what they could potentially gain from it. They're already one of the most famous and talked about groups lately. They literally come from an mnet survival show. To be honest, the fact they come from an mnet show will most likely make some people think they're gonna be favored in Queendom as well. Kepler already have so much haters ganging up on them, and this is the last thing they need at the moment. But besides that, I really don't think they need Queendom, to be honest. They're too big right now and it doesn't make sense. They literally just came out of a survival show and they're now participating in another competition. Not to mention some of the members just recovered from COVID-19. For fuck's sake, let them rest. I'm honestly failing to see why they would need to be on Queendom. Their appearance makes no sense. What purpose does it serve? You don't just take a group who has just come out of a survival show and put them in another competition. That's just pointless. And considering how popular they are right now, it makes even less sense to me. Overall, I just think the lineup is a bit of a mess, but I have no doubt all of these women will slay absolutely everything and I cannot wait to see them interacting and working together. However, I'm still pretty disappointed at mnet, because why is it that they can never come up with a decent lineup when it comes to Queendom? We had Queendom Season 1 with Mamamoo, who were much more popular than the other contestants. Not to mention we had Bomb, a soloist who was no longer in her prime, competing against groups who had all of the attention on them. And now we have another soloist competing against groups, and we have some groups that definitely didn't need to be on the show. Mnet is an asshole and I'm honestly just happy for the girls who are definitely gonna serve talent on the show. With that being said, we have reached the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Bye everyone.